Okay, so today we are talking about the equation of a circle. So this is if we wanted to graph it on a coordinate plane. Standard form is x minus, and then it's going to be h squared, plus y minus, it's going to be k, and then squared equals r squared. So hk is my center, and r is my radius of the circle. Okay, so on the first 6 problems, I want to go ahead and write my equations for these. They give me a center, and they either give me a radius or a diameter. So what I want to do is I want to, if I have a radius, I have my h and my k, my radius is r. So I just want to go ahead and plug these in. First thing I want to do before I want to find them in is I want to find r squared. This green pen stuff.
Good morning, warriors. Please rise for the flag.
Okay, so I was trying to figure out what r squared is. 2 squared is 4. So when I go to plug this in, I'm going to have x minus my h, which was 5. And then this is squared, plus y minus my k, which was 3. And this is also squared, equals 4. And that came from me squaring my radius. So same thing for number 2. This is my h, this is my k. My r is 14. So when I do r squared, I'm going to do it below. I have 14 squared. I can go to decimals to figure out what 14 squared is. So it's 196. And then I again plug in. So I'm going to have x minus, this is going to be negative 1. So because I have a negative 1, when I plug it in, it's actually going to be a positive, and then the 7 stays negative. On number 3, it tells me a diameter. Remember, diameter equals twice the radius. So if I have a diameter, I can divide by 2 to get my radius. So over here, my radius is really 9 for number 3. And then 9 squared is 81. My h is negative 2, so I'm going to change the sign to make it positive. And my k is negative 11, so I also change my sign to make it positive. Questions there? Okay. On number 4, my h is 0, my k is 9. And then I need to find my radius, so I'm going to take my diameter and divide by 2. This gives me 16. And then I want to figure out what 16 squared is. Which is 256. So on this one, since my center for h is 0, I don't have to write anything. I can just write it as x squared. And then my k was 9. Number 5, my h is -4, my k is 0, and my radius is the square root of 47. When I go to do the square root of 47, and I square it, it will get rid of that radical for me. So I can see when I type in Desmos that if I have a square root squared, they cancel out because those are inverse operations, and I just get 47. So I can plug in. I'm going to have x minus -4 squared, and then the y was 0, so I'm going to have just y squared equals 47. And the sign changes because my 4 was negative. Number 6, this is my h and k. My radius is the square root of 158. So when I square that, it's just 158. So I want to go ahead and plug into my equation. My h was positive 15, so I don't change the sign. My k was -6, so I changed the sign. Questions on writing the equations when I'm given a center and a radius or diameter? Okay. So number 7 gives me a graph. I need to find the center myself. What is the coordinate point of that dot? Well, you can look at the paper on your... So it's going right 3, down 2. So this is 3, -2. Remember, you always do left and right first and then up and down. And then I want to figure out my radius. So what I do is I can count from the center to either up and down or straight across. I want to make this easy on myself, so I don't want to have to do a slanted line. How many squares are there from the center to the edge? 5. So I have my h, k, and r. So r squared is 5 squared, which is 25. And then I just plug into the formula again. My h is a positive 3, so I keep the negative. My k was a -2, so I changed the sign to be positive. Questions here? Okay. So on number 8, I am going backwards. I have the circle equation, and I want to figure out my center and my radius. So this is going to be hk, and then to find my radius, I have to find the square root of 64. So my center is just those numbers opposite the sign. So I'm going to have 5 and 1 for my center. And then what is the square root of 64? 64 squared. So I'm going to have 5 and 1 for my center. And then what is the square root of 64? 64 squared. So I'm going to have 5 and 1 for my center. And then what is the square root of 64? 64 squared. So I'm going to have 5 and 1 for my center. And then what is the square root of 64? 64 squared. So I'm going to have 5 and 1 for my center. And then what is the square root of 64? 64 squared. So I'm going to have 5 and 1 for my center. And then what is the square root of 64? 64 squared. So I'm going to have 5 and 1 for my center. And then what is the square root of 64? 64 squared. So I'm going to have 5 and 1 for my center. And then what is the square root of 64? 64 squared. So I'm going to have 5 and 1 for my center. And then what is the square root of 64? 64 squared. So I'm going to have 5 and 1 for my center. And then what is the square root of 64? 64 squared. So I'm going to have 5 and 1 8. I'm going to change numbers 9 and 10. I'm going to change these instead of being diameters to being radiuses. On the test, it's only going to ask for a radius. Okay. So what is my center on number 9? -7 and 2. I changed the signs. Then for my radius, I need to find the square root of 324. I don't know that one off the top of my head. It's 18. So my radius here is 18. So on number 10, what is my center? -0, -10. So because the x didn't have a number, I assume it's 0. And then opposite the sign for the y. Then I want to go to Desmos to get my square root of 42.25, which is 6.5. On number 11, I have this equation. So what is my center? 6 and -11. And the square root of 58 is something I need to go to Desmos for. I'm going to round to 1 decimal place. We'll do 7.6. Are there